wealth snowball. How compounding quietly builds empires. The most powerful force in finance isn't loud. It doesn't wear a suit or demand attention. It doesn't crash markets or dominate headlines. It whispers, slowly, silently, but it builds empires. This is the story of compounding, a force Albert Einstein allegedly called the eighth wonder of the world. It's the key behind why some people retire rich on average incomes, while others earn millions and end up with nothing. Compounding doesn't reward speed. It rewards consistency, and the earlier you start, the more impossible it becomes to stop. Let's explore how compounding works, why most people underestimate it, and how you can use it to quietly build wealth that echoes for generations. 1. Compounding is not linear, it's exponential. Most people think of money in straight lines. Save $100 a month for 10 years, and you have $12,000. But with compounding, your growth doesn't just add, it multiplies. Here's how it works. If you invest $100 per month with an average return of 10% annually, in 10 years, you won't just have $12,000, you'll have over $19,000. In 20 years, nearly $70,000. By year 30, it's more than $197,000. That's the magic. The longer your money's invested, the faster the curve accelerates. The snowball builds slowly, but once it picks up momentum, it becomes unstoppable. And here's the real kicker. Most of that wealth doesn't appear until the final stretch. It's not exciting at first, but in the final decade, the numbers get surreal. That's why compounding feels invisible until it doesn't. This is why the biggest mistake isn't investing in the wrong thing. It's starting too late. The early years look small, but they lay the foundation for the explosion later. Think of compounding like planting a tree. The first few years look like nothing is happening, but come back in 30 years, and it's a forest. 2. Time greater than amount invested. People often think they need massive capital to build wealth. But when it comes to compounding, time is more powerful than amount. Someone who invests $100 per month starting at 20 will often outperform someone who invests $500 per month starting at 35, because they gave compounding a head start. It's not just how much you invest, it's how long you let your money work. Time allows your returns to stack, layer after layer, like bricks in a pyramid. The earlier you begin, the more levels you get. Each year isn't just another deposit. It's an amplification of every year before it. That's why starting early, even with small amounts, is critical. Even a 5-year delay can cost you hundreds of thousands in missed growth. The market rewards time in the game, not timing the game. The earlier you start, the longer your money compounds and the more unstoppable the snowball becomes. 3. The hidden power of reinvestment. Most people think returns are what matter, but reinvesting those returns is what transforms good results into exponential ones. If you earn dividends or interest and spend them, you interrupt the cycle. But if you reinvest them, you accelerate it. That's how a 7% return becomes 10%, then 14%, and then 20%, because each dollar earned generates its own mini empire. Warren Buffett didn't just earn high returns. He reinvested everything for decades. His wealth isn't the result of a one-time bet. It's the consequence of relentless reinvestment. Every reinvested dollar becomes an employee working for you, and those employees hire more employees. Over time, your financial team grows into a corporation of cash flow. The snowball doesn't grow because you push harder. It grows because every snowflake you add rolls with it, compounding its own momentum. Reinvestment is the unsung hero of wealth. It's not flashy, but it's transformative. 4. Consistency beats brilliance. You don't need perfect timing or market genius. You need discipline. Too many people chase the perfect investment or wait for the right time. But the real key is consistent, repeated action. $100 invested every month for 30 years will outperform $10,000 dumped randomly into hype-driven assets and forgotten. Why? Because the former rides compounding. The latter relies on luck. Discipline is underrated. It's not exciting to auto-invest month after month, but that boring rhythm builds results no flashy trade can match. Routine is the real strategy behind long-term wealth. Markets fluctuate, but regular contributions, done consistently over decades, almost always win. You can't control markets, but you can control habits. Smart investing is boring, but boring is beautiful, because boring builds. It's like watering a plant every day. You may not see the change today, but give it time and it transforms. 5. Avoiding interruptions. Is everything interruptions kill compounding? Every time you pull money out early, chase hype, or stop investing, you break the cycle. The math of compounding is fragile. Missing just a few years can cost more than you think. Example, a person who invests steadily for 20 years and then stops will likely end up with more than someone who waits 10 years and then invests aggressively for 30 because of the lost momentum. Even small withdrawals can do outsized damage. Skipping 2 years during a market dip doesn't just pause growth, it removes the runway for future liftoff. Interruptions are more than pauses, they're reversals. That's why pulling money out too early, especially during downturns, is so costly. The best gains often come after the worst crashes. Your job isn't to predict markets, it's to stay invested through storms. Letting your wealth ride uninterrupted is like keeping the snowball rolling downhill. Every time you stop it, you lose not just progress, but potential. 6. Most of the growth happens late. Here's the ironic truth. Most people quit before the magic begins. In a 30-year compounding example, over 70% of the final amount comes in the last 10 years. That's because the curve steepens. It doesn't just add, it erupts. Compounding is backloaded. It starts off disappointingly slow. That's why people give up or pull out too early. They think the growth isn't worth it or feel it's moving too slowly, when in reality, they're on the brink of exponential acceleration. But if you stay patient, if you stay invested, the curve flips, and then growth becomes shocking. What seemed like pennies begins snowballing into significant figures. Think of it like pushing a boulder. It takes enormous effort to start, but once it rolls, it doesn't stop, and it crushes everything in its path. The real reward goes to those who stay in the game the longest, not those who start fast and quit early. In compounding, the finish line always pays better than the starting gun. 7. The wealthiest use time, not tricks. Want to know how billionaires quietly build wealth? They don't just earn more, they compound longer. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his wealth after the age of 65. Not because his strategy changed, but because compounding matured. That late-stage growth is the result of unshaken discipline and an unmatched time horizon. It's not the complexity of the investment, it's the duration of the compounding. Time multiplies returns in a way no algorithm or quick trade ever can. The ultra-wealthy don't get rich overnight. They let compounding do the heavy lifting. They avoid flashy trades, ignore the noise, and stay invested for decades. Their secret isn't a secret at all. It's patience and long-term thinking in a short-term world. The key lesson? You don't need to be a financial genius to build wealth. You need to start, be patient, and stay the course. Time is the ultimate advantage, and if you use it consistently, especially when others get distracted, wealth will quietly follow and then explode. Turn your life into a snowball. Compounding isn't about money, it's about behavior. Start early, stay consistent, reinvest your returns, avoid interruptions, and let time do what time does best. Multiply small actions into massive results. It may not feel exciting today, but one day that quiet discipline will look like genius. If this breakdown helped you see compounding in a whole new light, comment, and let us know when you started your investing journey. And if you want to keep learning how money works in simple, visual, and powerful ways, hit subscribe. The sooner you start, the stronger your snowball becomes. Let's build empires, not by force, but by quiet momentum. Stay consistent, stay invested, stay smart.